Now I understand why so many of you about 2 weeks back told me to look forward to that smile. Like that smile that Mikado showed 2 episodes ago was foreshadowing. Now I understand. So, with this episode of Durarara Season 2, we find out who is causing the real problems behind the background, like behind the scenes. Oba. He, as a Dollars member, is pretty much fucking with another gang member crew. He's messing with another gang, and which in turn is causing this gang to turn their sights on the Dollars and causing problems with the Dollars. Now, Oba. At first, I liked his character, and we found out a couple episodes ago that he was like another Joker, for instance, another Izaya. And now seeing his true colors and kind of how he acts in this episode towards, Mikado, it's crazy. It really is. Now, this episode sets up a lot of different things, but the main focus of this episode is a new gang war. A new gang war between the Dollars and this other gang that's coming into the area. So, to see how the Dollars is most likely going to be up against another gang, I wonder how this is going to play out, because at the end of the episode, Mikado smiles when he finds out, like, they're possibly going to go at war. Like, he's going to become the new leader of the Blue Squares. And so, maybe, I don't know, just seeing him as a character smiling like that towards the Blue Squares, like being possibly the leader of the Blue Squares, it just shows us his type of personality. I'm just quite shocked with that ending conclusion of this episode. I mean, it fits with his character, because, I mean, the foreshadowing and all that from the first season, but to see how Mikado wants to do something like that, and he smiles, just, yo, it's crazy. It's really crazy to see how that type of character is doing that. Now, one thing I have to say about this episode I really did enjoy was the different scenes with Shou. Oh my god. The scenes at the beginning of the episode, like, as soon as it started, you see him pounding his finger on the doorbell. You see how, like, blood is going all over the doorbell. You see blood all over his finger. I mean, it's just a very violent, gruesome beginning of this episode, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Obviously, he's been pushing the doorbell a lot, but you just gotta consider how hard he has been pushing this doorbell and how many times he's pushed it to have his finger bloodied that freaking much and all over the doorbell. So, we kind of find out about probably 6 or 7 minutes later after that scene, Izaya, he did put that girl Akane up to trying to kill Shou last or 2 episodes ago. So we find out the truth, which was very obvious. I mean, it was very obvious that Izaya put Akane up to trying to kill Shou, and we find out the truth in this episode. Shou gets very pissed, and it was really shocking to see how he was able to hold back his rage at first. Like, that right there, that was unsettling when I saw that in this episode. Like, when you see how Akane reveals who was trying to kill him, like why she was doing what she did, and you see how he gets really angry, like you see the rage in Shou's face, like you clearly see it. But after that scene, like it seems like he calms down, he starts smiling and all that, acting all calm. That is the time when I'm like, something bad's about to happen. Like, really, really, really bad is about to happen, because when Shou, as a character that's been built up as someone that can't really control his anger, is kind of suppressing his anger in this episode, that's not good. That's just not fucking good at all. Like, he was straight up pissed. Like, I don't think we've probably seen him that angry in quite a long time, or I don't even think we've ever seen him that angry, because he actually held back his rage, and then he wants to take it out on Izaya. Like, he stated to his friend, he's like, hey, if I pop up on the news today for murder and all that, and I get arrested, tell the president I quit and I was fired and all that. So, right there, it just goes to show you, like, he wants to kill Izaya after what he did. So, very, very funny, but it just goes to show you how freaking mad Shou is. But if you place this on top of it, we also have to consider, like, why would Izaya want to piss off Shou? Like, is he that bored he wants to just piss him off? Or was he doing something even further? Was he trying to set up Shou with the gang members? As we saw in the episode, we saw a couple of gang members or whatever, like, killed. They were dead in this room. And you had to where Shou ran through the room, he went out the window, and he's being chased. And supposedly, the guy that saw it is like, oh, this dude killed 3 of our men and all that. So, Shou is being blamed for these murders. So maybe that was Izaya's goal in the long term of things. Like, he was just trying to set up Shou for whatever was happening in that room. Now, one thing though, I will say, the episode, very fast-paced, but I have to say the fast-paced when it came to this episode was a lot better than previous episodes. It made a lot more sense, and the way all these different things were going down in all these different places at the exact same time, really action-packed episode. Like, seriously, seeing the ending the way it was done, seeing how, like, all these gang wars are starting to heat up and starting to build up, it just makes me wonder what is going to happen next, because, I mean, how is Mikado going to be handling this situation? Is he really going to take the leadership role over the blue squares? Like, is he going to do something like that? I mean, a lot of questions I have right now, and it makes me want to read the light novel, it really does, because this series is quite fun to watch, and I like the interactions between the characters, and to see how Mikado is having a change in character slightly, I just wonder how far he's going to change before Season 2 is said and done. Now, animation-wise, when it came to this episode, animation, oh god, so much better than last week. Seriously. Last week's animation, as I said, was one of the worst episodes when it came to terms of animation I have seen all year long. Like, it was that bad. Thank God the animation of this episode was good. Now, I did notice a couple animation derps in this episode. I can't deny that. I did still see some animation derps. But when it came in terms of animation and quality compared to the last episode, this episode was leaps and bounds way above last episode in terms of animation and art. Because, oh, just like, yes, I'm glad this episode was back to normal like it normally is. Durarara wasn't that bad. Hopefully it stays at this level of budget, maybe even better as the episodes progress. But yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How'd you feel about this week's episode of Durarara? How'd you feel about all the setup? How'd you feel about Shou being very, very pissed with Izaya? How do you feel about Akane, you know, being told to kill Shou because of Izaya? How do you feel about Oba in this episode, of how he's trying to manipulate the dollars and manipulate, you know, Mikado into becoming the new leader? I mean, how do you feel about that? Does it seem very similar to how the yellow scarves were with last season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please be safe. Chibi out.